Hello everybody, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. Today we are sitting down and you are getting my full powder foundation routine. Okay, so I have dry-ish skin. So this has been a very tricky process, finding all the products that work best and the technique that makes my skin look the best. So if you want to see how I get this look today and how I work a powder foundation routine on dry skin, then sit back, relax, enjoy this video, and don't forget, like this video, subscribe below, give me a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell. Okay, starting off with a sip of coffee, need to get myself going this morning. And we are gonna start off with my routine. So the first and only cream product I use in this whole powder foundation routine is the Cosus Revealer Concealer. This I think is super underrated. So when it first came out, I feel like it got a fair amount of hype, but after that, just kind of dropped off the radar and I didn't really hear anyone talking about it, but I am so obsessed with this concealer. It is so good on the face, under my eyes. I can build it up. It is just so good, and you're gonna see it in action now. So this is how I start my routine. I do a little bit of a spot conceal all over my face, just to hide some of these really festive imperfections that I'm not super happy about. And the thing with this concealer is it's really thick, and so you expect it to blend out in just this really goopy way. But once you get it on the skin and it starts to blend, it really does just mesh with your face and look so natural. I also love the flat doe foot on this. It makes it so easy, and you rarely have to dip in for another thing of product. I still have a ton on this applicator right now. Okay, I'm gonna grab my Morphe E63 brush, and I am going to just tap this out all over the skin. Okay, so the reason I love this concealer is it isn't like a full opaque mask amount of coverage, but it does just take the edge off the redness of the skin, kind of even out the tone of my face. Sometimes I just wear this and a little bit of peach color corrector under my eyes to brighten me up a little bit, and I'm out the door. But this is just my first step for a little more of a full glam powder foundation routine. I find this sets down almost completely. You can get away if you're super dry. I'm semi-dry. But if you're super dry, you could probably get away with not setting this at all. With me, I just set this with a touch of powder, but I'm actually not gonna set this with powder before I go in with my blush and bronzer, and you're gonna see why here in just a second. So let's move on. Okay, now normally I would dive right into concealing my under eyes, setting, baking, and then setting the rest of my face, all that fun stuff. But today, because of my powder foundation routine, I'm doing it a little different. I've been practicing this, playing with this, figuring out how I can get this to work the best it can on my dry skin. And y'all, this is what I found works the best for me, okay? So next we're actually going into my bronzer. So I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil. I'm just gonna dive in with a big fluffy brush, okay? I have not set this concealer. I haven't put anything else in the face. It's just the concealer and the bronzer, okay? So I'm just gonna go right in on the cheek here. And don't worry about over blending. Don't even really worry about blending that much, okay? It doesn't really matter right now, and you guys are gonna see why in just a second. So the first time I tried this, I really was like, there's no way I'm not gonna come out of this looking like crap. This just looks insane right now. How in any way is this gonna end up looking good? And by the end, I was eating crow, y'all. So just wait and see. So you're just gonna slap this on the perimeters of your face, kind of wherever you throw your bronzer. But you just don't have to take as long to blend it, because it doesn't matter right now. I like to go a little more heavy-handed than I normally would, though. That is one thing I will say. Go a touch more heavy-handed if you're gonna use the technique I'm using. So put just a little bit more than you normally would. All right, I have got a very healthy bronze look to my skin. Next, I'm gonna dive right into my blush. So today I'm using one I haven't reached for in a long time. This is the Patrick Star and MAC collection. This is in the shade I'm Not Blushing. This is so good. This formula in general is beautiful, and this blush in particular is so stunning on the skin. So I'm gonna load up a brush. I mean, load it up. I want a lot of pigment, okay? I want kind of a blushy look today. And I'm just gonna go right on in, right around the perimeters of my face, a little bit on my nose. And at this point, you're really gonna start to question your sanity. You're gonna be like, this this looks interesting. I don't know how I feel about this. This is the point where you just need to like relax, take a sip of your coffee, and just trust. Put your trust in Blane and blush away. Okay, now that we are blushed, we are bronzed, we are gonna move on to the next step, y'all. Okay, we are gonna dive right back into my revealer concealer, and we are finally gonna conceal these under eyes, y'all. Now, I'm gonna use a whisper of product, okay? Literally, less is more in this situation. You can always build it up. It's really hard to blend out excess product, especially if you don't have like a sponge. I'm not using a sponge. I haven't been using a sponge in this routine. And so I just take a little dot right there. Literally right on the inner corner, those two, and then a little touch on the outside here where I get super dark. That is it, okay? I think this is, everyone's calling this now like the Robert Welsh technique. And they're not wrong. He really did like kind of popularize it on here. It's been around forever, but he did make it a little more mainstream and I love him for that. So this is how I apply it. I may let it even set for a second if I want a little more coverage. And then I'm just gonna take my good old ring finger and we're gonna tap this out, y'all. Okay, now that we are concealed, I'm gonna take my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Setting Powder. I'm gonna take that on my Scott Barnes brush. I'm gonna load it up all over the brush, really get it worked into the bristles of the brush as this powder just like flows up into my face. So I really get it worked into the brush. I'm gonna take that just on the back of my hand, really make sure it's just worked into here. And then I'm just going to press this into my under eyes. Okay, now at this point, we are still looking a little bit crazy, but this is the moment where everything's gonna come together and you guys are literally not gonna believe it. Okay, so the last and final step, we are going to grab our powder foundation. Okay, so I love this one. If you have dry skin and they have a shade for you, which is always the issue with IT Cosmetics, the Celebration Foundation Illumination is absolutely stunning. Like my favorite powder foundation by leaps and bounds. Incredible. So this is the final step. We are going to take our foundation powder. I take a little more of like a slightly dense, semi-fluffy brush. So I like my Mr. Right brush by Too Faced. I load up the powder foundation on here, okay? There's a pretty good amount of powder foundation. I'm gonna take this and we are going to use like the Wayne Goss buffing technique, and we're going to buff this on the entire face, and I'm gonna dust away any excess baking powder with this under the eyes, okay? So let's go, y'all. And voila! What do you guys think? Doesn't this look so beautiful? So notice that you didn't really have to blend the bronzer, the blush underneath. Nothing had to be super, super precise because the powder foundation goes in over the top and kind of corrects everything, makes it all look like skin, super, super smooth, gives me all the coverage I want and need. It is just so beautiful. And the thing I love about this powder foundation in particular is it does have a slight luminosity to it. So if you're in like a store, I guess you can't swatch anymore while you're in stores, but if you ever get a chance to swatch this, you'll see that there is like almost a glitter, quote unquote, in the formula that does not show up on the skin for me anyway. And it just really does look like you are this lit from within kind of glow. And I think because of that, this does just really make this look so airbrushed, so smooth, blends all the products underneath. And I'm just so obsessed with how this looks. But I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup off camera and then we'll be back for the final look, y'all. Okay, everybody, we are back. This is my finished look and the end to my powder foundation routine. If you guys like what you saw today or you learned anything, comment below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Give me a thumbs up, helps the channel out so much. Click on my face, you can subscribe to my channel, see more videos like this, see some lifestyle, see some vlogs, see some makeup, see a little bit of everything. And don't forget, hit that notification bell so you can see every time I post something new. And as always, thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all.